Hello everyone, David Blair, Crosshairs Trader here. What I want to do in a short video is to explain how to use the drawing tool in the TradeStation workspace. Of course, we Crosshairs traders already have our signals. Of course, this is not all of them, but I've just got a few on here. Our trading signals from the weekly and daily chart, reversal signals and continuation signals. So they're already programmed into our workspace, already in the radar screen also. That simply saves us time, allows us to focus on the trades that are setting up. Other than that, we have the art of the chart, which basically involves several things. First of all, we want to know when earnings are on a stock, if they're coming up fairly soon. We want to draw a loss line. We want to draw profit targets, measured moves. We want to understand where trend lines are. So when we have these listed, we don't need to necessarily put them on a piece of paper or have them in our mind or figure out how to program them into a platform, because they're going to change based on the chart. And charts and markets are always changing. So the art of the chart means we have to be able to draw these things on our charts as we're looking for a potential trade and once we get into a trade. So if you have the TradeStation workspace, here's how you're going to be able to draw these lines. If you do not, and you simply watch my videos, follow me on Twitter or StockTwits, and want to understand the lines that I have, this will explain them to you as best I can here. All right, so let's take a look. If you do have the workspace, okay, you want to make sure that you have the drawing tools available across the top. So when we're looking at view, click on view and then go to toolbars. You should have main checked, chart analysis, and drawing tools. All right, here's the ones that I use right here. All right, let's remove all the lines that we have on here already. All I'm doing is clicking on and hitting delete button. Let's get rid of these. And let's go through a few charts. All right. The easiest thing to start with, I believe, is earnings date. When the earnings date's coming up, what I do is I look at briefing. It's free. The search tool is free. So RTN, you can see earnings date coming up October 24th. That's so far ahead, I don't really need to put that on my chart. But just to show you how I do this, July 26th was the earnings date on briefing, from briefing and on the stock. You can see that right here. Now, you can actually format this vertical line however you want to do it. And this is the way I have mine labeled. Show labels, make transparent, top placement. I want the date on the top. And to show the date, you can actually choose the size, the letters that you want, so that you can see it bold. So I have mine bold, size 18, and these three checked. And then you could take a look at the other style. I have mine as a dash line. You can have it solid, dots, whatever you want to put in here. And the color, I just have black. Extend across all subgraphs. I don't have any alerts on here, labels, and there's no need for data here. But once you check all these, what you want to do is you want to set it as default, so that each time you label your chart, it's already set up that way. Okay, so let's hit OK, and there's my earnings date. All right, let's actually remove a couple more lines. lines here. Alright. Next, if you want to draw a trend line, and trend lines simply look for swing lows, swing highs. You know, we can draw our trend lines based on our signals here. If you'll take a look at the very top, let me lower this so you can see it. At the very top of your workspace, there's a pencil trend line. Drag that down. Let's say we want to draw a trend line here. Left click and then just let it, take your finger off the mouse and let it run. Now you can also format the trend line. So right click, format the trend line. I just keep mine green. It's bold, size 12. Make sure you set that as default. Make transparent. And then let's take a look at style. Mine's green, and I'll show you how you can change that in a minute. Again, set as default. Style. I don't have any alerts on here, and I keep it blank as far as left or right to extend it. And the reason is sometimes I'll extend a line, sometimes I won't. So if I want to extend it, I can do so on the line itself instead of having to go in this box. Okay, so I have mine green, and I can extend it out here any way I want. And then if you right click also on the line, you can extend right. Very easy. Let's say I want to draw another trend line. I go up, grab that pencil, and then right click on the line, extend right. Now let's say you're doing a bearish trade. It's going to be hard to find one, and here's one. And you've got your default set for a green line. For me, I like to have my downtrend lines red. So I simply, let's go in here, extend right, and then click again and make the color red. There you go. There's your itch. Okay. Alright, let's go back. You can also place your support and resistance lines here. Again, if you go to the top of your toolbar, you should see this line here. You'll see that. You can click on it. Place it on the chart. Just left click, place it on the chart. Grab another one. Left click, place it on the chart. So now I've got my previous breakout line, I've got a new breakout line, and again you can format this. I have it green, solid. You can make it whatever you want, whatever color you want. I make it green. Again, set as default. Labels, I have mine 10, regular, make transparent, right, justify. That gives me the actual numbers on the line. To the right, you can actually make it left if you want to. Take the right justify off. We've done our style. There's no alerts I want to put in here. We do not have to worry about data. So, again, set as default. Well, let's say you want to make a resistance line. Okay, let's say we've got a measured move. We're going to talk about measured move in a moment. Or you've got a resistance line. You simply, again, right click here, and I like to make my resistance lines red. So let's say you put a resistance line up here. You can also, once you put these lines here, instead of grabbing the line from the top again, you can actually right click. You can do this on any of these lines. Do new parallel. It will actually give you another green line. You can pull it down. Breakout. Alright. Alright, what if we want to do a measured move for profit targets? What I like to do is look at the move off the trend line. Now we've got our high candle count dots here, so that's a really long move. Here's our shorter move, but again, you grab your pencil from the top, left click, and then I take my drawing tool and just move it up here and left click again and let go. And then I take this line and I want to change it. I want it to distinguish this line from the trend line, a measured move. So what I've done is I simply change the style, make it dashes for instance. Also, you can click on the format and actually show price percent change, price net change, how many bars. So in other words, let's just say I want to show price net change, and I don't really want to set it as default, or that will set up every single line I put in here. It will show a price net change. I do not want that. I only want it on my measured move. So hit OK, and that will actually place the amount, dollar amount, on this line, 1220. So if I'm looking at another measured move, again I right click, new parallel, and then I grab it, drag it over here off of this trend line. The next move would be right here. Then I can drop this red line down to the top of that measured move right there, and you can see RTN pretty much came very close to hitting that measured move from this break. $12.20. You can see that it shows up again on the line. Now, let's say you want to do another one based off this move. Let's just do another one here. And then right click, move parallel, and let's put it here on the breakout. So the measured move on this break off the trend line, if you right click on that line again, format, I want to show a price change, and I want to change it to this. Hit OK. Now you can't see the number there, but drag it out. Just hit it and drag it out. $5.46. So you put it back in there. Let's get rid of this one because we don't need it. I was just showing you two ways you can do this. Go back. What do? Hit new parallel, $5.46. Move it here. And then we've got two profit targets based on a measured move, a longer one and a shorter one. And you can see RTN has hit those. It's hit both of them. Measured moves. Okay. So we've got our lines for resistance, support, earnings, measured moves. Gives you the dollar amount. Again, you can go in here and change this. I don't set this as default. You can go in and change this however you want. I don't want to extend the measured moves. I don't have any alerts. Green dashes, I can change that to red for a down move. But let's say instead of price change, you want to look at percentage. Again, just take the price net change off, show price percent. It will actually change that to percent, and you can see that here. Go back, right click, and again, format. Remove that. Let's say you want to show how many days. 31 days. Let's see what time span is. 46 days. So 31 would be a candle count, and this is how many days. A little bit different. All right. Show bar count and actual number of days, so you can change those. All right. So when you take a look at the labels on my chart, other than our signals, when I talk about measured moves, when I talk about support lines, when I talk about possible resistance lines, This is what I'm talking about here with our red lines resistance, green support, green uptrend lines, and then we can have red downtrend lines. Measured moves, you can change the style of the measured moves to distinguish those from the trend lines. Once it breaks a resistance level, like in this case, you can right click, change the color to green. Whatever you want to do with your chart. Now, one other thing. Oftentimes we may have a stock that's breaking out of a box. Well, how do you draw a box? Let's take a look at one that we discussed recently in our morning videos. And you can see I did a measured move here. And then you can actually take this line, again, right click, new parallel, and look at a new measured move from the new breakout. Again, grab you a line, right click, change it to red. We got our earnings date on here. This one's broken out of the box, so we change it to green. We can actually draw another trend line if you like here for the breakout. Extend it right. But here's our box. Here's where we went sideways. We worked our high candle count dots off. Going sideways, we broke out. Well, how did I draw that box? Well, again, in the toolbar, there's a box. Click on that, bring it down, let it go, left click it, and then you have a box. So let's remove this box. You can actually right click on that box, remove rectangle, and then you can grab this and drag it down. You can click on the box as long as these black squares show up. Grab a hold, left click, grab a hold of these squares. You can move it however you want to move it. And then let it go. Alright. So there's the breakout of the box. There's a support line from the box. Was the resistance line. Now a new support line on the box. You got your numbers on here. You got a measured move. You know. Now, if you want to change the color of the box, format rectangle. I've got mine black outline. See the line? Black outline. Fill color, yellow. You can change it to whatever color you want. Whatever color you choose, you make it a light color, green. If you want to keep it that color, set as default. If you don't want a line, maybe change the style, whatever you want to do. You don't want a line, you want to make it white, however you want to do it. So we changed the color to that light green color. There you go. And again, without the block showing up, just left click. With the block showing up, you can drag it. Without the boxes showing up, you just click on it, drag it. If you let go of it, the black boxes will show up in the corner and you can do whatever you want with the box. Alright. Right click, remove rectangle. Boxes. Alright. If you want to make notes on your chart, ABC right here. Do all caps for me. Trending, say you just want to make a note. Trending stop. Alright, click on the chart again, and then you can actually go back and use your lines, whatever you want to do. But right click, format text. You can actually make it whatever size you want. Bold, however you want to do it. Style, black, however you want to do it. That's completely up to you. Set it as default once you have it where you want it. Hit OK. There you go. That's how you put notes. And then you can just left click on it and just drag it wherever you want to drag it. Okay. And then right click, remove text. So we've got our trend line, support resistance line, measured moves, earnings data, the ability to draw boxes, the ability to type on the chart anywhere we want. All that's left is our signals to let us know when we have a trade. All right. If you've got any questions about how to draw, how to label your charts, doing the art of the chart thing outside of the fact that we have our signals already programmed into our workspace, please let me know. You know how to contact me at David@thecroshairstrader.com.